Hi, welcome back, guys. I'm now joined in the LIS Lounge with Ollie Barlow, who is the National Account Manager from Aico. So, welcome to the LIS Lounge today, Ollie.
Thank you.
How's the show going for you so far?
Yeah, really good.
Manchester?
Nice and busy, which is always good. Nice mix of landlords and like property management agents we've been speaking to. So yeah, it's going well.
Excellent, excellent. So, really just wanted to find out a little bit more about Aico and what sort of products that you guys offer to landlords. How can you help landlords?
Yeah, cool. So basically, Aico is the market leader in home life safety. So we're a manufacturer of fire and CO detection predominantly. We've now added a comprehensive connected home solution as well, which basically incorporates a gateway device and environmental monitors, so landlords can keep an eye on things like damp and mould risk, thermal inefficiencies, overheating, underheating of properties, and air quality as well. And then the resident also gets an app that they can sort of get tips and tricks on how they can improve their sort of well-being within the home as well before the landlord has to step in.
Okay, amazing. So a huge amount of legislation that landlords have to go through at the moment with all aspects and everything you've just covered there. I mean, what would you say is the biggest, the biggest things that landlords are facing at the moment and what they're having to overcome in their properties?
Yeah, so obviously the first thing really to talk about is fire and CO detectors. So landlords have got legislation that they have to follow by law, obviously, but then that legislation also refers to the British standard, which is best practice guidance. And that takes it a step further. So the legislation basically states in England that a landlord only has to have a battery-powered smoke alarm on every level of their property, and that's kind of it. And in terms of CO detectors, they've got to have a CO detector wherever they've got a fueled appliance. Then the British standard takes that a little bit further, and it actually says that in any rented property, you should have basically a mains-powered device with a tamper-proof battery backup. And that should cover your escape routes and also your two high-risk rooms or any high-risk rooms. So mainly that's a kitchen and a living room. So that's kind of one side of it. And we always recommend that a landlord will go to best practice rather than the bare minimum of legislation. And then on top of that, there's an incoming bit of legislation which the new government have announced. It's called Awab's Law, and it's massive in the social housing sector already. Basically, it was announced that it was only going to affect the social housing sector. The new government have said, no, that's actually going to affect the private sector as well now. We're not sure exactly when it's going to come in, but it will be coming. And essentially, that is big on damp and mould and disrepair cases. So if a tenant reports a damp and mould case or a disrepair case to their landlord, they've essentially got 7 days to act upon it in some form.
Right.
So our connected home solution, HomeLink, is a fantastic bit of equipment. So the gateway sits within the property, environmental sensors in different rooms. They collect data on temperature, humidity, and carbon dioxide, and then they feed that back to the landlord or a property management agent, and they give them insights on whether that property is at high risk of damp and mould, if it's got thermal inefficiency, if it's being overheated or underheated. And as I said before, the resident also gets access to an app, so it can give them tips and tricks on how to improve their sort of well-being within the home as well. So yeah, all of that is comprehensive. And then you've got coming in a few months is a case management system, and that basically is going to enable landlords to act on Awab's Law and start a case and show the proof that they've been doing basically what the legislation says they have to do, and yeah, hopefully fixing it for the tenant.
Amazing. So with with the systems that you guys can put in place, so if it's a landlord that's looking to update all of their properties,
Yep.
what's the process for you? Would you do a site visit for those properties, or how simple is it for a landlord?
So I mean, firstly, they'd probably call an electrician. If they need to speak to us, we've got 32 regional managers around the country, relationship managers. So all of their details are available on our website, so they can reach out to their local relationship manager. And then, yeah, absolutely, the relationship manager can do training with the landlord if they've got multiple properties. If it's a property management agent, we can work with them as well. And we can also provide training to the electrical contractor as well, so they know what they're doing. And in terms of the HomeLink connected home solution, if they want to run with that, we can run them through how that works and how they can actually make the use of that data that they're collecting from their properties as well.
Amazing. So it's quite a straightforward sort of solution, really, and it's called the
Home Link.
Home Link.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Obviously, coming up to winter now, damp is a big issue, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
damp mold season. Yeah,
it is the season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, any sort of tips for landlords out there? What they need to be doing?
Yeah, so something we always drum on about it is education a lot of the time. So we often see in terms of heating instability is a big one. So tenants will sometimes turn the heating on for a short period of time, and then they'll turn it off and they'll let it drop, and basically that's going to create condensation, that kind of thing. We want, as much as we can, a constant sort of running level of heating. When tenants are cooking, things like that, just keeping lids on pans, turning extractor fans on, it's really important. Again, it's just about educating them that that's actually, doing them good as well. It's creating a healthy home for them to live in. So yeah, just education, and then obviously just making sure that the home's up to date in terms of ventilation, making sure it's sufficient, that double glazing, everything like that. There's no draft risk, that kind of thing. So it's a bit of work from both sides, and yeah, obviously with the data they can really pinpoint what's going on within a property. And
yeah, that's really good to know, because obviously some of these issues can go very much undetected, can't they?
Absolutely,
and you wouldn't
yeah.
have a clue.
No,
so
yeah.
With the home solution, that kind of picks that up and it's fed back.
Yeah.
So, and is there to sort of help the tenant sort of understand, the ventilation and all the rest of it? Is there something that you leave that, like, that the tenant can be left like a booklet and
so the resident app, basically, it just gives them loads of tips. Yeah, it's got loads of information on there from studies, from NHS guidelines, that kind of thing. So it just gives them little tips and tricks and a bit of background information on why these things are important, why humidity levels and stuff like that are important, heating of the home, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, that's been really insightful, Ollie. Thank you so much.
No worries.
And guys, for all of your sort of healthy houses approaching the cold season, damp season, I'm sure there's lots of information on the Aico website that you can have a look at about all the various products, but the home solution obviously is featured on there as well. But there's some really, really good tips, Ollie. Thank you very much. And it's nice to see that you're working with both landlord and tenant,
yeah, absolutely.
as it should be. So appreciate your time today.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming in. All right.
Take care.